everybody, what's going on? It's Gamer Dad here. Today we are going to be talking some Realm Royale. About 4 days ago, the OB19 patch updates officially was posted. So we're just going to talk a little bit about those and kind of see exactly what High Res is kind of doing. It looks like they're making a lot of positive changes. With this particular game, I've become quite a fan of it, even though there are a lot of you out there that'll say that it's another attempt at a Fortnite killer or it's not Apex Legends. Well, this one is more for, I believe, to be the casual streamers, the casual players, and it appeals a lot more to the younger crowd. I've seen a lot more younger players play this and have more fun versus the anger-risen videos of Fortnite losses that you can see on YouTube all over the place. Just type in Fortnite anger loss and you'll find thousands of videos of kids breaking stuff and just getting angry. This game is just a little more enjoyable, so we're going to talk about some of the new open beta patch notes that they've done. Thank goodness for one. I notice here, first highlights here, new ability, Soul Gust. Send out a charging blast of magical energy that passes through walls and forces enemies back. So one of the things that a lot of people complain about is the mage's ability to have a CC attack. So you have like the concussion bomb with the assassins. Every class had one except for the mage. So it's nice to see that they finally put one out here. The mage is getting a new ability to replace her ice wall ability. Thank God for that, because as pretty much everybody knows, ice wall is pretty much one of the worst abilities in the entire game. Everyone pretty much just breaks it down. I actually saw rating use the other day on certain abilities and their usages, and ice wall was rated the worst. Soul Gust will damage enemies and apply a significant knockback. That'll be good, especially if you're running with an assassin as well, or if you're running sensor drone or flare. So you'll be able to get an idea of where they are. But I've seen a few beta videos of the Soul Gust being used, and the knockback is pretty significant. It's not as significant as the concussion blast. I think that they'll probably make some modifications to Soul Gust once it comes officially out and they see what the damage ratings are. This ability can even travel through walls, rocks, trees, and bone. This is our first ability that won't be stopped by pesky walls. So I like the fact that they say that, because they say that it won't be stopped by pesky walls, but they're removing a wall from the game in order to put Soul Gust out. So I find that kind of amusing. The talent Soul Gust will now apply a 3.5 second reveal on the hit enemy. So that's going to be very powerful, especially for those who have suffered the immediate anger rising loss of going into a building and seeing a guy crouched behind a chest and just shooting you and killing you. Everyone knows that that's pretty annoying, but if you play it a little smarter and not as aggressive, you're going to have a flare or a sensor drone before you jump in there anyway. They're also going to be releasing a new base drop bundle. It's a new bundle. It's available in the shop, containing 5 cosmetic items: Technomancer Mage, Beatbox Chicken, Neon Booster Mount, Base Drop Skydive, and Boosted Spray. I think that's pretty cool that they're adding some cosmetic items. I like a lot of the things that they've been doing. Every time they release a new season, they're putting some themes to it. I think this last one, I wasn't necessarily a fan, because at the end of the day, you released a skin that you can get at level 35 that basically turns your warrior into a bumblebee from Transformers. So I feel like they could have definitely done a little spot checking and asking, their developers and their testers exactly what their thoughts were on the skins before they released them. But these new ones, I saw a rocket ship mount, which was pretty cool. So I think the new cosmetic items, I think they're doing a pretty good job thus far, hitting about 3/4 of what the fans really want. So please continue to try the game. I know it's still an open beta, but I think it's worth giving it a few hours worth of try to see how you like it. Things are getting a lot smoother. The themes are really cool. It's just entertaining. It's just a lot of fun. they're finally adding a communication wheel. Now, everyone that has seen this knows the communication wheel is pretty much exactly what it is. It's the Fortnite communication system. All you got to do is press the VGS button. It'll allow you to select more ways to communicate with friends and enemies while fighting your way to a crown royale. Uh, the three options are chatter, emote, and tactical wheels, respectively. Now, the one thing I can say after seeing this, it is kind of annoying, in my personal opinion, that you can only have one emote selected per class. So it doesn't make it as entertaining, because why are you going to release a lot of different emotes when you can only use one? Well, thankfully they're getting rid of that, and they're going to allow you to have a few more emotes, and I do hope that they add some more in the future to be able to do that, because they are pretty entertaining, especially the whistling one when you're waiting in the ship and everyone just whistles, and it's just fun. Again, it just adds to that entertainment value of this game. So please, by all means, check it out. The link above, this is directly from the Realm Royale website. The link is on the top right hand corner of the screen to where you can try the game out yourself. Their chatter is going to be filled with exclamations and general non-essential communications. Examples would be awesome, curses, and woohoo. Emote filled with your selected emotes and sprays, as well as the ability to joke and taunt. I think people are gonna abuse that a little bit, but it's definitely at least got some entertainment value versus the infamous crouch up and down really fast when the camera's on you after you eliminate someone, so it appears that you're teabagging them. It definitely reminds me of 2010 Bad Company from Battlefield. It's a little annoying, so I'm glad that they're putting some more entertainment value in that. Tactical, filled with more objective-centered commands. Examples: ready to forge, under fire, and fog is coming. By default, the C, V, and B keys are bound to the new communication wheels. Gamepad players will be able to open the emote communication wheel by pressing left on the D-pad and make a selection by using the right thumbstick. Pretty sure they got that control system from Fortnite, but at the end of the day, there are other games that are going to be out there just like other games. So I just really appreciate the fact that they're recognizing their lackluster in their communications between allies and enemies alike. So they're really just trying to step up their game. But remember, guys, this is still an open beta. So just wait until this game hits full release and they've gotten everything down to what exactly they want. There has been talk of trying to have some form of an esport or competitive play, and that's going to kind of introduce the next thing here, which is the ping system. Added the ability to ping a point of interest, displaying a UI indicator to the player and their team for a short duration, up to 10 seconds. By default, it's bound to your middle mouse button for PC players, which is your scroll wheel. So all you have to do is just click on your scroll wheel on your mouse, and it'll automatically ping what it is that you are currently looking at. Gamepad players, so PlayStation, PS4, and Xbox, will access the ping system through the new communication wheel. So there you go for that. I think it is very helpful. I've seen some test videos on them using it. Initially, it was a little shaky because it didn't have much of the ability to be able to ping specific targets, so it was very hard to ping things that were a distance. But if you're on something and you tell your teammate that you're on a chest, you can just ping the chest that you're standing next to, or ping an item that you're standing next to. That way you don't have to keep opening up your map and changing things around. So it's made things a little bit easier. Onto some gameplay weapon changes. The infamous broken stone staff. Time between shots has been increased slightly. So I have seen some server tested videos of exactly what that means. Base damage has been increased slightly. Accuracy has been slightly reduced. The thing about the stone staff is everyone forgets that there are so many different talents and so many different weapons in general that once you find that one weapon that just rules and dominates, you're just going to stick to it. And this is a long time coming, in my opinion. The stone staff has been one of the most dominant weapons in Realm Royale. So I'm glad that they're finally changing that. Now, props out to Baggins TV, which you can all find him on YouTube, just Baggins TV. So shout out to him. He actually did a gameplay video using the new stone staff. Hopefully they did make some modifications from what he did. However, when he used the stone staff, the initial shots were a little stronger. Not a lot stronger, but they were a little stronger. But they fired about 1 out of the 3 shots every half second. So you definitely noticed a dramatic difference in just the overall DPS the stone staff provided, but the fact that they're increasing its base damage makes it a little bit viable and doesn't just completely eliminate it from use. So we'll just wait and see exactly what it is that they do as they release this. The longbow, which everybody knows that plays Hunter, knows that the longbow is one of the most annoying weapons in this game right now. They are increasing the gravity drop-off when the bow is fully drawn. So one of the things that people notice is that when you use a sniper shot versus a bow, generally everyone prefers the bow because once your weapon is fully drawn and you fire, the drop-off on the arrow is next to none. Whereas you'd have to aim probably an inch or so above their head just to hit the body on a sniper shot from one building to another. So I'm glad that they're balancing out the longbow in making it a little bit more to where you have to aim more effective, rather than just pot-shotting fully drawn bows from 100 meters away. The environment, Jade Gardens environmental updates reduced some of the elevation in Jade Gardens to allow multiple paths to move around the point of interest. Added more objects and terrain to add more coverability in the region. Fixed the slope of several inclines to allow players to traverse up hills. Now, personally, I am a fan of the Jade Gardens area. Typically, one of the most common drop-off points that I prefer is inside the waterfall. When you actually drop inside the waterfall, you have at least a guaranteed chance of having a chest, because I have never landed there and not seen a chest. But one of the infamous problems that Jade Garden has had is when you fall off and you're inside that waterfall, you're stuck. You might as well say GG next and call it a day. Because I have seen so many people either dodge roll or heroic leap and fall off there where they were done. That was GG for them. One of the things that people don't know about the Jade Gardens area, especially inside the waterfall once you actually reach the ground, if you are chickened, one of the tricks that you can use for all those newbies out there, for people who like to try to hide in the bushes and stand still so you're not as loud, and try to see if anyone can just pot shot you unless they have a flare or a sensor drone. If you actually fall inside the waterfall, if you go to one of the corners, if you actually land a jump the right way, you can actually go down to where your entire chicken body is covered by the water and the waterfall, and it's near impossible to see you. So tip out there for those newbies that might die within the first couple of minutes if you're trying out Jade Gardens for the first time. Try to make your way down to that waterfall and hide in that corner. You will see a dramatic difference on how difficult it is to see you. So it's I've pulled that off a couple times, but it is pretty damn near time for them to make these changes to Jade Gardens. I just hope they make it more aesthetic, because at the end of the day, it would seem very random for them to just have these wooden ramps everywhere in the middle of a waterfall for no particular reason. So I'm glad that they're reducing some of the elevation and have some multiple pathing options for people who want to experiment with Jade Gardens for their first drop-off point. All right, next we're going to go down to some quality of life improvements. The HUD now displays when a player enters a new region. A number of improvements have been made to hit registration on all platforms. Everyone who plays on PS4 or Xbox will be grateful for that. I think PC is pretty good so far. However, I know that PS4 and Xbox players have suffered a lot from hit registrations and have had a lot of complaints about just the actual hitbox in general and how accurate things are. One of my personal favorites with these new quality of life improvements is the blink responsiveness and accuracy even further. One of the things that really turned me off from the Assassin is the blink. I was not a fan of, as soon as you activate it, it always had that quarter or a tenth of a second of a delay before you actually blinked forward or up or whichever direction you were blinking. And it always seemed like you blinked just a little bit more to the left. If you recall back on some of your old gameplay, think about that for a minute. Did you ever try to blink to a particular path and you hit an object and you were curious how you hit that object? Maybe you didn't even pay attention. But that was one of the things that turned me off originally from the Assassin was blink. Personally, I am a fan of hidden, but blink is very good for those quick escapes, and being able to have that 3-second shield has been very nice. They are fixing some spectation. Fixed issue where runes weren't being shown properly when spectating. Players can now chat while spectating. Now, you've pretty much always been able to chat while you're spectating unless you switch characters. Or that could be a bug, because I know personally from the games and matches I've played where I've been able to chat while spectating, but the moment I switched and did something or did that initial chat, it would go away at some point. So I'm glad that they're making it official in there to where it's constant. Keybinds will now be hidden while spectating. Not too much relevance. Damage numbers will now consistently show up while spectating. I am a fan of that because a lot of people that do like to spectate are trying to count for some of the damage that their teammates are dealing so they can kind of keep their teammates updated with what's going on. The minimap will now update properly while spectating. That is also a good thing because it was always a little bit of an annoyance to me, seeing information not showing or being shown incorrectly. Hopefully they also have fixed one of the bug issues where your spectation is not accurate to the actions that you're spectating is showing. So, for example, I've seen it to where some crosshairs have been locked, or for those of you who've been around for a while, whenever you've spectated and your teammate is running a sniper rifle and they zoom in, all of a sudden your screen is stuck on the actual scope in on that sniper. That's happened to me quite a few times. So hopefully they've managed to fix some of that stuff too. Some bug fixes. Fix several audio mix issues. Hopefully that also implies that they fix the infamous drop sound that you make, and in order to fix that bug you have to basically crater impact onto the ground in order to fix that. So hopefully that's one of the bug issues that they definitely fix. Fixed an area in Jade Gardens where players could get stuck. Personally, I have never seen that. I play in the Jade Gardens area pretty much every time if I run duos. Solo, I like to experiment around and go to different areas just to, get used to certain things. But Jade Gardens has a very specific pathing method that you use in order to be able to get to 70 or 90 shards by the time you make it to a forge, so you can guarantee yourself a weapon. And that's without even being able to have a fight. There is a specific built-in path that the Jade Gardens region has, starting from inside the waterfall, where you're almost guaranteed 70 to 90 shards in order to craft your first weapon without even needing to find another player. So I am a fan of that, but I've never seen the area where you could get stuck. So please comment down below on this video and let me know what you guys think about a lot of these bug fixes and a lot of these updates, because I'm very curious about what everyone's opinions are, and I want feedback on other gameplay or things to look out for the Realm Royale community. So if you guys can comment down below, like and subscribe, that would be sincerely appreciated, and I'll continue to keep everyone updated with all the different games and patches and stuff that I play. Alright, moving on to the legendary ice block would heal more than intended. This is 110% true. I have seen so many mages get a legendary ice block, and it basically felt like it was a common ice block mixed with a legendary healing shout, to where it felt like you had to go through one full set of armor, damn near kill them, they would ice block, and it felt like they had all their health all the way back up. It was a little insane. So I'm glad that they're fixing that. But I never saw it with the epic or the rare ice blocks, just the legendary one. Fixed an issue where the loot goblin wouldn't drop loot when killed. Everyone has had to have seen this at some point in time, where the loot goblin wouldn't drop the loot. But I think one of the things that they do need to address with the loot goblin is I think they need to reduce its speed. One of the things that I have seen enemies and allies alike have is the loot goblin's ability to make you have to mount, and it takes you 2 to 3 minutes to kill a loot goblin because you can't get off as many shots as you would like. But having it drop no loot, I think I've only had that happen to me twice. But generally, any experienced player in the Realm Royale community knows that loot goblins are pretty much used for bait. You would activate it, you would chase it around to see if anyone would come out. It's just like baiting for the loot boxes that drop. You see it, you tag it, you hide, you wait for someone to activate, and then you pick them off. So for any of you newbies out there, that's another tip right there. Tip number 2. Don't always try to rush for your loot boxes. You know, scout it out, make sure that you're not getting trapped, because you don't want to walk out there and all of a sudden you take an 1850 headshot from a legendary sniper rifle. So you just got to be a little careful. Fixed an issue where several ceilings in Guntown had improper collision. Now, I don't disagree with that. Guntown did have some issues with some of the ceilings, to where it caused certain players to either glitch out or get stuck. And I'm very surprised that Hi-Rez hasn't attempted to fix some of the buildings. My count right now that I've found is 3 specific buildings where you're actually still physically able to either mount up or continue to mount through the building, even though we all know that if the building doesn't have a ceiling, it doesn't really count. But there are 3 buildings that I have specifically found where you can still be mounted or mount up inside the building physically, or inside the hallway. So I'm surprised they haven't tried to fix that. But if anyone knows why you're able to do that, please leave a comment down below, because I am very interested to know that as well. Fixed an issue where the button to open the map on the console wouldn't toggle the map when pressed again. I have only heard of that. I only play on PC, so I can't vouch for that myself. So if anyone does have any frustrations with that, leave a comment down below. Would appreciate that. Fixed an issue where characters would occasionally T-pose when picking up a new weapon. I can say I've never physically seen that one, and I don't think I've ever really seen it be a glitch where a particular pose or a stance has really glitched out. Hi-Rez has come a long way with a lot of their animation glitches that they've seen. I know some of you guys out there have seen, and please go ahead and leave some comments down below for mounting and seeing no animation take place with the physical mount. You just kind of look like you're surfing, or your mount has its legs spread out and it's just skating along the ground. I've also seen it where you as a character physically aren't able to move, but you are moving, so it looks like you're gliding or you're stuck. I haven't seen too much of that, but I know that there are still some glitches out there that are like that. Alright, fixed an issue where crouching while vaulting through windows could put your character collision into a bad state. Don't really have any personal experience with that one, but it does look like that was a fairly heavily reported glitch as well. A lot of the stuff when you were trying to vault through the windows, it has had quite a few bugs, and they fixed some of them, but there still are a couple of them. I've seen a few bugs still where you try to vault through the window and you physically are standing as you go through it, so it causes your collision to actually glitch out and it won't allow you to go through the window. And I've seen people lose their match or be defeated because of that, so I know that that's an annoyance. And they have also addressed some issues with being able to see shadows through the walls. Um, I don't have any personal experience with that one as well, but I could definitely see how that would be a little annoying and have some impact on the collision detection. But I can say that I've never physically seen that, and I know that would give you a little bit of an advantage to know whether or not if someone was trying to camp you, uh, either by hiding by a chest or whatever the case might be. So it'll help with some of those campers that are doing that. And then they state they're going to do additional fixes with update 20. So that's just about it, everyone. And I do appreciate you stopping by and checking out the Realm Royale OB19 patch updates. Please leave some comments down below and let me know what you think and what you would also like to see in the Realm Royale community. Some pre-made, some competitive sports. I'm very interested to see what you guys come up with. Thanks again, everyone. It's GamerDad signing out.